Going. Today we have a new live, and I'm going to invite our guest. Um, let's just call her.
Here you are. Hi.
Hi,
How are
I'm
you?
doing great. How are you this fine morning?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Here in Italy is like afternoon,
Oh,
but I'm happy that your Sunday is starting out. My Sunday is already ending, but that's okay. That's okay. It was a nice weekend.
perfect.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Perfect.
perfect. Audio perfect. Video perfect. So
Okay,
everything is rolling.
perfect.
Um, let's start with a little bit of icebreaker. Tell the audience who are you, what you do, and then where are you from? And then we're going to dive right into because I have a lot of questions.
Okay. So, my name is Anique. I'm the common traveler, and I do what I do because I just love traveling. I will say I was born in Venezuela of French Canadian parents, and we moved a lot when I was a kid. My dad worked for an oil company. And so then, of course, I went to college and slowed down for a bit, got married, had children, stopped traveling. And about 10 years ago, my parents invited me on a 2 week trip to France and in Spain. And that just like relit a fire as to travel and getting back into traveling. By then, my kids were pretty much grown, out of the house. And one of the things that I've discovered is that people don't travel a lot, or they think that it has to be like one huge trip somewhere far away. They forget about road trips or somewhere nearby. And so I work full time still. And people are always asking, well, how can you work full time and travel so much? And it's just like, how do you pair up your vacation days with your weekends and make it work that way? And so it just started by me telling a couple of friends like how to do it, and they're like, "Oh, this is such helpful information. You should do it a little bit more often." So that's what I'm doing. And I've been here in Durham, North Carolina for 16 years now.
Wow.
This is the longest I have ever lived
In a
anywhere.
place. Yeah.
And yeah, so it's, I have North Carolina is beautiful. We have mountains, we have beaches, we host a lot of sport events. And Durham is kind of in the middle of the state. So it's perfect for traveling one way or the other. And so I just really enjoy sharing my city with others as well.
Yes, so I'm really curious. Tell me more about Durham. So you say you have everything. You have mountains. You have nice events. You have everything. Just start and go.
Sure.
Just share everything.
So Durham is in the middle of North Carolina. It's in the middle of the state. So about 2.5 hours away, if I wanted to go to the beach, I can go to the beach. Everybody's heard of the Outer Banks, or at least have some idea, if nothing else, from the Netflix show, right? The Outer Banks. So we have beautiful beaches not too far from us. And then in the summer, when it gets really, really hot, I am not a fan of hot, by the way. I prefer colder destinations than warmer destinations. We have mountains. So we have Asheville that a lot of people have heard about. We are at the Appalachians. And we have beautiful Blue Ridge Parkway. So again, that's a couple hours west. But what I like about Durham is that it's in the middle of the state. And so people, when they think about visiting North Carolina, they think either about going to the beach,
Or,
or they
or
think about going to Charlotte, which is a very big city. If they even think about going to the middle of the state, they're thinking more Raleigh, which is,
Mhm.
our capital. But Durham is its little neighbor. And what I love about Durham is that we are a hidden secret. Shh, don't tell people. Uh,
Oh,
I guess the secret's out.
secrets
So,
out.
it's a it is it's a great mix of different age groups. We have Duke University here, so we have some really brilliant minds. And we have Research Triangle Park, which is kind of like an area between Raleigh and Durham. And there is a lot of people go there to develop medications, medical devices, computer programming, people that are just way smarter than I could ever hope to be.
Wow.
So,
Wow. And
yeah, so what it
what's your favorite
does,
part of your city? Like, I know
yeah, so
it's
when you
not, it's a
have
tough question.
yeah, when you have a university in your town, right? Then you start getting you have to be able to entertain them and entertain their
Yes.
family when they come and visit. And so we actually have a lot of beautiful restaurants, really
Wow.
tasty food, art. We have guest lecturers that come to Duke and to Durham. And so I would love to take you through like what I do when guests come to visit me. How about
Yes, please,
okay?
please, yes. I'm thinking. You see me writing because I'm taking notes because I think it's my I don't think my bucket list is just way longer. I don't think I will need another life to go to all these places. But go on, please go
Well,
on.
yeah, and you know, and I think that people from other countries, when they think about coming to the
They
United States, they think
they
about
don't.
the big
Yeah.
city, right? They
Yes.
think about
Yes.
like I'm going to go to Florida and go to Orlando or Miami. I'm going to go to New York City or Chicago. All those cities
Definitely.
are beautiful and they offer their own things, but a smaller town like Durham really is impactful because it offers a lot without having the big crowds that you might find in some of the bigger cities. So when I have visitors that come here, one of the things that I really love doing with them is a walking tour of downtown. Um, the area is fairly small if you stick to the strict downtown area. And so I often start at our food hall. Now, I know that a lot of cities have food halls, and I'm not saying that, you know, ours is any better or worse than anybody else's, but I think it's a great place to kind of like, you can get a little bit of a taste of different foods. We have a coffee shop, but really the best part about it is that with its location, you can start walking and you're going to see a ton of murals. And these murals really represent the spirit and the history of Durham. So what I mean is that Durham used to be a tobacco producing area. So we have lots of warehouses where people would come and sell their tobacco and you know, purchase it. And all those buildings have had to be repurposed because no one does tobacco anymore, or not as much, right? So I love these old warehouse. The facades have been kept. On some of the side of the buildings, there are these beautiful murals. And I am a coffee lover. And so we have a ton of coffee places. But I have to highlight one special place. So there we have this, the Durham Hotel, which is downtown Durham, and it sells something that they call coffee soda. Now,
Oh. Oh.
coffee soda, I
Oh.
have never had anywhere else. I've never tasted it anywhere else. It
This is a
is
gem.
a,
This is a gem.
it's a cold drink, right? It's with ice and it's made with like a sweet coffee syrup, I'm going to say, with just a touch of lemon in it. And it is so refreshing that it's perfect for our hot summer days. And it gets hot here in Durham. If you're going to visit, I do not recommend July or August because it is very, very hot. But the good news is that in the wintertime, it's not cold either. Like
Oh
it gets
wow.
cold, but not super, super cold. Like we might get ice, we might get snow once, you know. So definitely I encourage people to visit in the fall or in the spring. By the way, if you come in the spring, this place is gorgeous, right? On the Duke campus, the Duke University campus, we have something that's called the Sarah P. Duke Gardens. And when those cherry blossoms and other plants bloom in April or so, I mean, it is to die for.
Wow.
By the way, you can visit those gardens any time of year, but during the spring, it really comes alive. And that's one of the things that I like to take visitors to, but you can't walk to it. You have to drive to it. And also there, right next to it, is the Duke Chapel, which is at Duke University. And when you walk in, you just feel closer to Europe, as a matter of fact. I
Hmm.
won't compare it quite so much to the Italian
That's so nice.
churches, but also again a very historic stone church with the beautiful
Yeah.
glass, stained glass, and anyway,
And I think it's
and if,
unexpected. You didn't. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
And if you love food, by the way, we have a lot of James Beard Award nominee chefs in town. As a matter
Wow.
of fact, we have a newish Indian restaurant called Chini. I haven't been
Mm-hmm.
to it. Say I haven't been to it, but that chef was actually one of the finalists for best Southeastern chef in the United States for
Wow.
the James Beard.
Wow.
So who would expect that, right? Out of Durham, North
Yes.
Carolina.
Yes. So you start with food. Let's go. Let's dive right into it. Okay. Favorite thing, your favorite thing to eat and where? And then just we are going to, from there we are going to.
Sure. So my favorite thing is actually there is this fried shrimp. I know it doesn't sound all that exciting, but we're right by we're not that far away from the ocean, as I mentioned, and so there is this place called Salt. My goodness, Salt Box Seafood Joint, and the chef there was actually a prior James Beard Award winner. And what I like about it is that it's unpretentious, right?
Oh
It's
wow.
home
That's that.
cooking. Yeah, you're gonna get fried shrimp with hush puppies, a coleslaw salad, and you can sit at like these picnic tables. So that's what I love about it. It's delicious food, but it's affordable, and it makes you feel like, yes, I'm ready for a trip now. I
Oh
need to go to.
wow. I love it. I love it. That's the vibe that I like when I when I travel. That's exactly the vibe.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
if you want to go to like a very fancy restaurant, we have those as well. We have Nana's, we have Nana's Steak, we have, just a lot of restaurants, especially downtown at the hotels, that are very fancy. And people go there before they catch something at the theater at the Durham Performing Arts Center. We have one of the largest performing arts centers in the
Wow.
southeast of the United States. And so it attracts great shows, musicians, and musicals, all kinds of things. There's always something to do in this town, which is part of what I love about it.
That's amazing. How many days do you recommend staying there to enjoy, to truly enjoy it? Say, okay, I just enjoy it. I know maybe a month is not enough, but are you realistic? Are you realistic?
No, I will say I do think that like 3 days is plenty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do more if you wanted to spend more time. You could visit more restaurants, but really, I think this is a great city to see. For example, on a weekend or on a long weekend. You get here on Friday. You could also combine it with nearby activities. Like last week, we had. Oh, I'm going to mess this up because it's golf, and I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not a golf watcher. But we
I'm
had
not a
like the
golf
U.S.
watcher
Open.
neither, so
Yeah, I think
okay.
we had a big golf tournament about an hour away from here in Pinehurst, North Carolina. So you could combine events like that, right? Like you could do something like one of these big golf tournaments, for example. I think they're back here in 2 years, by the way. And then you could just come and hang out in Durham.
And what about accommodation wise? There are a lot of big hotels, or there are that small boutique hotels that have that the vibe of the city. How's the vibe?
We have a mix of everything,
Okay.
including Airbnbs. When I live in a one-bedroom apartment, so unfortunately, when I have guests that come, they either they get to pick my couch, which is not always the best, right? Or I recommend one of the downtown hotels. There are three downtown hotels I usually recommend. These are not, they're not big chain hotels. We do have those as well. Obviously, if you are a Marriott fan, which I usually am, or any of those, we have those as well. Because, you know, with having a university, we have parents that come visit in
Yes,
their events,
yes.
right? So we have a lot of hotels in town. But the three hotels downtown that I really love because they're all unique is one of them is the 21C Museum Hotel. So there's a few of them in other cities in the United States, but you're basically staying in an art exhibit. And I love that.
Wow, that's
Yes.
so
And they're
nice.
always changing what exhibits they have. So that one is a fun hotel to stay at. Right around the corner from that is the hotel that I mentioned with the coffee soda, which is the Durham Hotel. One of the beautiful things about that hotel is they have a rooftop bar and restaurant. And so you get, if you go there, by the way, go there at sunset, you'll get an amazing view of the city. And they usually host a yoga class on
Oh,
Sunday morning. So you get to do
wow.
yoga outside on the rooftop with the city in the background. So that one's a fun as well. It's kind of like a 50s decor, so really kind of fun. And then the third hotel that I usually recommend is called the Unscripted. And what I like about it is that it has a pool deck on the roof. And so during the summer, they throw beach parties. So you can get a day pass if you're not staying there. They have fabulous drinks and cocktails. And then in the wintertime, they put up those igloos that you probably have seen in Italy as well, right? And so that way you can rent an igloo and have beverages and food inside those igloos
That's
protected from the
so cool. That's so cool. I'm just blown away for all the things that the city has to offer. Like I don't think 2 or 3 days are enough. I want to enjoy everything. I was going to pack everything in 3 days.
let me let me tell you that when my friends come, they leave here exhausted, right? I'm one of those people that believes like we're gonna start early and we're gonna hit everything, right? I do want to tell you about a secret place that I think
Okay.
a lot of people from Durham don't even know about. So there is this place called the Satellite Park.
Okay.
So it is part of Duke University, their arts annex. So it's kind of like a farther away from the campus. Not a lot of people know about it unless they do art. And so what they've done is that they've used old satellite dishes, like the big
Mm-hmm.
satellite dishes,
Yes.
and they have painted murals on them. And it's gorgeous. It's very unusual. I've never seen that anywhere else. I'm a
Me
fan of murals, but I've
neither.
never
I'm a
seen
fan of
them
murals too. That's really okay. Okay.
creative,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you
And
gonna do with those?
unexpected. And you like,
And
yeah.
it's in this like little residential
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood. So unless you know to
You.
look for it, you wouldn't know that it even exists. Yes.
That's
Yes.
so nice. That's so cool. So cool. Um, if I'm coming there, um, what kind of advice would you give to me? Like one or two main advices you'll give to me. So if I'm planning a trip and go there.
Yeah. So usually, if you're coming, you're going to fly into the Raleigh-Durham International Airport. We actually do have international flights. Like some people think, like, really,
I'm
Raleigh-Durham?
going to check like
Yeah.
I'm going to check
So
right away.
yeah, we have Lufthansa, Air France, Air
So it's
Canada. We have.
really so it's easy to get. Yeah, I love
It's
it.
very
Love
easy
it.
to get. It's an easy connection from Europe to here. And if you are in the United States, we are very close to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a home airport for American Airlines. So generally speaking,
So yeah.
that's how you're going to get here is, through airport. But I will tell you that like a lot of places in the United States that are not big cities, you're going to need to rent a car
Okay.
to get around. It really, unfortunately, our public transportation is not quite where it needs to be. You can take the train into town. And I will tell you that if you're lucky enough to be in the US somewhere that has a train, and you can take the train into Durham, North Carolina, then you can see most of these places that the train station is downtown. You're going to stay downtown. So it's actually very convenient. You don't need a car if you're going to take the train. And then you just can, you can always take an Uber if you need to go.
That's really nice because it's like, as you say, it's like the perfect weekend or the perfect long weekend getaway. So you hop on the train, you go, you enjoy, and then you come back and Monday start. It's like the perfect, like, yeah, yeah.
It is. It
I really like
is. And,
it, yes.
and I think most people who come here to visit, like I said, either come to visit someone who lives here or come to visit one of the students at Duke University. And I don't know if they're exploring enough. Like the city
Yes.
has so much to offer. And I hope that I can encourage them to explore a little bit more.
One last
Yeah.
question, I promise, and then I'm going to leave you to your Sunday. If I wanted to do a day trip around, what would you recommend going?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So the recommendation is going to depend on whether you are a beach person or not. Um,
Yes, I
if
am.
okay, so if you are a beach person, I would recommend going to a place called Carolina Beach. It's about 2.5 hours, and it is right along the east, the coast, the east coast on the Atlantic Ocean. Um, but if you wanted to drive just a little bit further than that and see some fabulous lighthouses, we have those. So again, you could go south and go to a place called Bald Head Island that has a beautiful historic lighthouse. There's another one in Southport. There's like 8 lighthouses in North Carolina. Most of them are on the Outer Banks. The Outer Banks takes a long time to visit. So just
Hmm.
don't think that if you come to the middle of North Carolina
You
that you're
can
going to
go
be
to the
able to
Outer
do
Banks.
a day trip to the Outer Banks. The Outer Banks, you have to take ferries, and it's quite you have to work out a schedule for it. So it's a lot of
It's
planning
a
involved.
journey. It's a
It's a
journey.
journey, but for me, going to the beach is the perfect day trip. You're just going to go, there are also closer beaches as well, depending on what you want to see. Um, uh, some people here drive on the beach. We have a couple of beaches in North Carolina you can drive in
Wow.
on, and
Wow.
you can also find shark teeth if that's your thing. Like some people go shelling and
And
others
then
go hunting for shark teeth.
I
So you
love
can do
it.
that on our
I
beaches.
love it. I
Yes.
love it. And if I'm a mountain person,
If you're a mountain person, then you're going to go in the opposite direction. It's going to take you a couple more hours,
hmm
closer to 3 hours, I would say, to really hit some of the destinations. We have Boone, North Carolina, where lots of people go skiing. We have Bryson City, which is unfortunately a little bit further away from that, and Asheville as well. But what I like about those is that it's so much cooler in the summer. And as I mentioned, I'm not a huge
yeah.
fan of the heat. So, yeah. So, and if you go towards the mountains, I definitely recommend going in the fall as the leaves are changing colors. And then you can drive on the Blue
That's
Ridge
like the
Parkway.
like the
And,
the foliage as we call
oh,
it here in Europe. Oh
exactly. Yeah,
wow. You have a
absolutely gorgeous.
foliage too. It's gorgeous.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you very much for being here with me. I'm blown away for the beauty. I just can't wait to come and visit. And thanks for sharing so
You're
much, for being so
very
generous.
welcome. I've got a couch, or we can find you a fabulous hotel.
I'm going to go and see the next plane. How can I arrange that next year because I want to come in spring. So I want to arrange that. I actually want to arrange
Perfect.
that.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you. Thank you for being
You're
here
very
with me.
welcome. Thank you for letting me share my love of Durham.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Bye.
Bye.